All right, folks, welcome to another episode of the Abundant Will podcast. I hope everybody had a nice Christmas and got to spend time with their families. If not yet, maybe this weekend and stuff like that. And so I just wanted to come on here today and talk a little bit about willpower because if you're going through any kind of medical situation, sickness, or anything like that, or any kind of, I don't know, drug addiction or anything, you're going to need willpower. Um, but the good news is if you have a substance abuse problem, you already have it, so we're good there. But real quick before we get into the willpower stuff, I just wanted to say, if you're here and you're following and you're trying to live abundantly, right? And when we're living in abundance, we need to walk in abundance, we need to expect abundance and live in abundance, and we can't be living in fear or have any lack or any kind of regret or anger or anything like that. And I'm going to share a story of like so I've been doing this kind of just searching for spiritual enlightenment now for I don't know 4 or 5 years, just reading books and how to stay positive and things like that. And the whole time I'm meditating, I'm saying my affirmations and things like this, but I was living in fear the whole entire time and I didn't even realize it, but I was. So before January of this year, that's when I found out that I would need another kidney transplant. But before then, to be completely 100% honest, um, I think I probably had an idea that something was wrong, like something was up, but I wasn't exactly sure, like exactly what it is. I didn't think it was necessarily, like a kidney transplant, but I had known that something was wrong because for a while, like maybe a year and a half before I even went to the doctor, like once in a while, you know, I, I'd piss and it'd be maybe a little bit of blood in there and stuff like that. And I know that's not normal. And, but, to kind of go back a little bit, this is where this comes from. Just me being afraid to like go to the doctor or talk to the doctor, things like that. Well, a lot of it had to do with when I was younger. I mean, every time I went to the doctor, they told me they were like, "Dude, you can't go anywhere. You got to stay. You got to stay. You got to stay. We have to do this. We have to do this. We have to do this." So, one time I was in the hospital, I think it was because I was actually in there for an OD, and one of the nurses said to me, she goes, "I can't believe you would just waste your chance at life like this. You know, they're not going to give you another one." Meaning they weren't going to give me another liver or kidney or whatever. And that just kind of like stuck with me too. So I never looked into it, but I always just assumed that I guess you only get one, right? So the whole time before I even went to the doctor, before I even took a test, I had this in my head that they're only going to give you one. They're not gonna help you anyway, yada yada yada. So it's getting it's getting pretty close. So I always thought it was there was like a little bump over where my scar is for my kidney, and I always thought it was my kidney, but apparently it wasn't. And as we were getting closer to like the January 9th day when I had to go in and get my blood work done, it was like, I don't know, maybe a week or two out, and all of a sudden, like the hernia just got way bigger and it dropped a little bit. And I was like, Jill, I should probably go to the doctor or say something to the doctor. And Jill was like, well, yeah, I agree. You probably should, but she goes, you might as well just wait till the 9th and say something to him then because you're not going to get in anywhere anyway. And I was like, no, okay, well, that's a fair point. So anyway, we go there on the 9th for this appointment. Now, mind you, I I knew something was up, but I didn't think it was like you're gonna need a kidney transplant or anything like that. But I knew something was up. And so we go in, we get the blood work, all this stuff, and within an hour they called us and said, get on back here. And then they started doing just all the blood work and tests and this and that and the next thing. And then they come back and they tell me, they go, well, Mr. Kohler, your kidneys are failing. Your kidneys failed. It's running at like, I don't know what they said, 10 or 15 or 20% or something like that. And you're gonna need a transplant. I'm like, okay. And then he goes, well, we're gonna have to get you hooked up on dialysis. And I'm like, okay. And that's when I asked him, I go, well, I mean, am I even eligible to get a transplant? He goes, yeah, why wouldn't you be? And I didn't say anything. I was just like, I don't know. I was just wondering. And then they, at this point, they had told me they were like, they didn't know if I uh, needed a liver transplant too. So that whole entire time, I was terrified and scared to go to the doctor because I had put it in my head that they only give out one. I took that nurse's statement, ran with it, and I just conjured. I just made this whole scenario up in my head, and I probably went to the doctor way too late. And I mean, I'm lucky that, other stuff wasn't wrong, right? Because I mean, dude, you have to look out for your health and you have to look out for yourself, right? And I wasn't doing any of that, but here I am. I'm thinking you know, doing all this spiritual enlightenment. I'm reading, I'm trying to learn, I'm meditating, and the whole entire time I'm living in fear because I'm letting this scenario in my head build up, create itself, and I had nothing, absolutely nothing to even worry about. Because I go to the doctor, I'm like, what do you think it, because before you get a transplant or you're even put on a list or anything like that, you have to they bring your case up to like a board, and the doctors whatever, I don't know how many there are, but they talk about it and they go over it and they say, I mean, they decide on a case by case, I guess, and I asked them, I'm like, so, what's the percentage that, when my case goes up, he goes, dude, it should be a layup. I'm like, what? He goes, it should be a layup. I'm like, oh, okay. Which I guess means, don't worry about anything. But I mean, it, that whole entire time in my head, I had built that up, and that had been for a long time, probably quite a few years of, just afraid to go to the doctor, um, just because of all the stuff that I had been through before, and the things that people have said, and stuff like that. I just I listened to everybody. I let it all in my head, and I conjured up a story, and I made it up. And I was living in this fear box that I had created. So I mean, so like in the early episodes when I said it takes time, it takes time, man, and you'll slowly realize all this stuff as keep on uh continuing with your spiritual journey or enlightenment or whatever you're trying to do. But I mean, if you're going to live in abundance, you have to live with love, light, gratitude, and you have to be helping others. I mean, if you want to live in abundance, those three are a must. All right. But another thing that you're going to need is some willpower. And I'm going to kind of share, I guess, I don't know, the last year, and just some of the willpower that I had to exert, um, or else I wouldn't have made it, man. I wouldn't have. So, I told you guys the last time I write down a couple questions, and one of them I put like, so where did my willpower come from? And I'm really not 100% sure, other than the fact that I don't want to die yet, and I want to see my daughter grow up and things like that, and so there's no other option but to keep on going, right? And I think the other place where I kind of found some strength and some willpower was like, I would do anything to get high or get my drugs. So, I just kind of try and flip that attitude towards, I would do it if it was getting high. So I have to do it if it's bettering myself, or trying to enlighten myself, or things like that. So let's start with some willpower. So it took willpower just walking into the doctor's office, and just you have to be honest, open, and vulnerable with these people, and then you really have to you're at their mercy. You know what I mean? So January 9th, I got the phone call that, hey, come back to the hospital. So we're in the hospital. We're going through all the tests and stuff. My blood work was so bad. Like I've always had like low platelets and stuff like that, but my hemoglobin was very low, my platelets were very low, so they couldn't like really do any kind of procedures right away until they got my blood work right. So I was in there for maybe, I don't know, maybe a week and a half, 7, 8 days before they even did anything. And then the first procedure they did was up here. They put a dialysis port, and then I still had to sit in the hospital because I still had, you know, uh, the hernia that they had to fix, and my blood work or my hemoglobin and platelets weren't high enough for them to do that surgery yet. So in the hospital, I'm getting wheeled down to the dialysis place 3 times a week, and then you have to sit down there while the machine uh, cleans your blood. So I did that for another couple of days, and then I had my hernia surgery. Okay, and I had that, and I think maybe the day after I had that, they let me go home. So I'm going home, and I got the port right here, and I have a scar, whatever, from surgery, but I haven't even looked at anything yet. I'm super, super sore. Jill's wheeling me out. We're like running down the hallway in the hospital trying to escape in the wheelchair. And she's pushing me out and things like that. And then I think like another day or something went by, and and uh and then it was like, all right, I have to like try and wash myself a little bit, you know what I mean? And this is I'm just gonna share this story because I don't give a fuck, and I think it's funny, and I think you guys will think it's funny too. But anyway, so the whole time, like if I had to like get up or sit down or anything like that, I'm like walking like this, like with my legs, like open like that, but like very, very, very slowly because it was so painful. I was so sore. I was kind of like almost like hunchback Notre Dame a little bit too. But anyway, so I'm in the bathroom, and I'm like uh taking the scar or whatever. They had it all wrapped up in some kind of surgical tape or whatever. So I'm taking this stuff off, and like I'm just like taking like a wet uh like a washcloth, just kind of washing myself, you know what I mean? Just trying to get clean a little bit. And like I'm removing the the tape and stuff, and it's like, it's down there. It's almost like by your right by your hips and stuff like that. And then I see like the size of my balls, dude, and they were like huge. And I'm like, what the heck is going on here? I didn't understand what was happening. And I called Jill, and I'm like, Jill, what is this? She's like, oh my God, dude, I don't know. And we both start laughing, and I call the doctor immediately, and I'm like, dude, what's going on here? I go, I look like I have like elephantitis over here. Something's wrong. Something's not right. And he goes, oh no, it's fine. It happens all the time. Just put some ice on it. So I told my mom and my dad, and I think they told my uncle, and my uncle thought it was real funny to send like $150 box of frozen, freeze pops. So, it just you have to find humor, and you gotta find, you gotta enjoy yourself, and you gotta laugh at some of the stuff, dude, because it'll ruin you if you don't. So anyway, I mean, dude, that was hilarious, and it was funny, and I was like, "What is this?" I didn't even know that was possible. It was insane. But anyway, after that, so then it was going to dialysis outside every every 3 days, and I first started going from like 4 in the morning to I think like 9 or something like that when I first started going. And mind you, it took like a week or two for my my elephantitis like be finally normal, dude. So I was walking around like that in pain. It was so painful for like a week and a half, 2 weeks, while getting the dialysis every 3 days. And look, I'm very grateful for the dialysis. Obviously it saves my life, but dude, it's rough, man. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but when they cleanse your blood and put it back in, you just don't feel right. You just like you don't feel 100%. It's the weirdest thing, dude. Sometimes I felt nauseous. Sometimes it was wild, dude. It was wild, and it was tough to do, but I had I had to do it. You have to do it. You have to get up and you have to do it, right? So that continued for a few more weeks, and then I think I had by this time, I think I was good enough. I'm like skipping maybe like a month and a half or so. Um, but by this time, I was good enough to go back to work, I believe. Now I still had the dialysis thing in my chest, and I have um a schedule. I think it's like 2 weeks out, maybe three. Um, where I'm going to get the peritoneal dialysis catheter put in, which is the one that's in your stomach, right? So for 2 to 3 weeks, I'm going to work with the um, catheter in. I have to leave every day at like 2 because I have to be the dialysis, or every 3 days, I had to leave at 2 because I had to be at dialysis. And like I said, I mean, dude, that's it. Just you don't feel right when it's just constant back and forth, and you're pulling your blood out, you're putting your blood in. It's just I don't know how to describe it other than it's just you don't feel normal, and you it's just sometimes you feel nauseous. It's just it it sucks. But anyway, so I'm doing that, and then I have the procedure for the the peritoneal thing, and then that's put in, and then so me and my family, we always do the ASP stuff. So then we had to go down to ASP, um, which is anywhere from like Tennessee, West Virginia, Kentucky. Last year we were in Kentucky, and I had to find a dialysis place out there, and I had to do that while still being like the kid's mentor on the job site and all this stuff. And I mean, dude, I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to go and do dialysis instead of doing the stuff with the kids, but I had to do it, man. It just I you have to do it. I didn't want to go to work while I was doing this. Let me tell you something, okay? If on a normal day, being a pipe fitter is a hard ass job, okay? And I'm not saying like, I'm not beating our chests or anything, but dude, you got to pull on chain falls, lift pipe. I mean, hangers, everything you lift is 50 to 60 pounds. And not only that, I'm a welder, right? So I'm welding. I have a tube in my chest, a tube in my stomach, and if any one of those were to catch a hot one and burn up, man, I'd be in some serious shit. You know what I mean? So it's just the constant day-to-day stuff that you have to do, and the willpower that you have to just to keep on going, man. I mean, being a pipe fitter is nothing to take lightly, dude. And to do it when you're having your blood taken out of you and putting in even the at-home dialysis stuff, dude, it it sucks, man, and it takes a toll on you. I mean, like, almost this has only been recently, but it's like I'm not exactly sure what's going on, but, like, sometimes I'll wake up and I don't know, man, I throw up for a little while, and it's just weird. I don't get it. And this is like hours after I eat and stuff like that, and I know it has to do with, like, the phosphorus because, I mean, everything that we eat has phosphorus in it, and your kidneys clean a lot of that phosphorus right out of you, and obviously mine don't work very well, so I have to take, like, binders when I eat and things like that, and it's a it's a pain in the ass, man. It's a pain in the ass, and it takes an iron will to continue to keep going because, I mean, okay, so I wake up in the morning, if I start, like, throwing up or something, you think I wanna go to work and continue, uh, the next 10 hours like that? Hell no, dude, I don't. I don't wanna do it at all, but I have to, and I do because my family depends on me, and, I don't wanna let them down, and, I have to keep going for myself because I don't wanna sit here and I'm not gonna be defeated, dude. It ain't gonna happen. Not me. Not yet. Nope. Not even a little bit. I'm gonna keep going and I'm gonna keep moving and I'm just going to remain positive. And let me tell you something. Over the last year, it has been fairly difficult to be positive, but I have maintained a fairly positive attitude. I would say so. Yes. I mean, am I human, dude? Do I get shitty and short with people sometimes? Absolutely, I do. Yes, but But what matters is at the end of the day, I will recognize what I did wrong and I will change it, dude. And I will do the best that I can the following day. You know what I mean? And that's it. And anybody who is if you're going through illness or a medical sickness or a drug addiction, dude, eh, if you have had a substance abuse problem, then you got all the willpower that you'll ever need. I promise. I promise you. All you have to do is switch it from running and getting the drug to helping somebody, reading a book, meditating, you know what I mean? Anything to bring any kind of spiritual enlightenment, right? Because I mean, for the last year, man, I could have went the other way and I could have played the victim and I could have played the pity party dude, but I mean, that's not me, man. It's not in my blood, man. I can't do it. You know what I mean? And the battle, it's right here. And you absolutely have to win. You have to win. It's you versus you all day long. And you got to let you got to let the good you full of love, light and truth win. that's uh that's that's the key, right? So yeah, I mean over the last year, man, the willpower that and I mean and willpower is just basically it's basically discipline, right? It's doing the stuff that you necessarily, I don't know, don't want to do, but you know that it's good for you and that it's better for you. And I mean, just all I could say is you whatever you're, just stay positive and you have to look at it as like it's just a lesson and any kind of spiritual growth or enlightenment, it comes through going through hell, man, through being absolutely broken down and put back together. That's it, right? And so, I mean, don't be discouraged, man. If you're going through something, a sickness or whatever, I mean, you have the power and uh, and it's right here in your head, and all you have to do is just have a positive outlook and be as positive as you can and help others when you can and live in love, light, and truth, man. Uh, that's it. And if you're going through something, all I could say is just keep on going, keep on pushing. It's just a lesson, and like I said, any kind of spiritual enlightenment or growth or anything like that, it comes from going through. You got to go through the fire, man. It's like uh, becoming the phoenix or whatever. Just um you know, just just keep going. So real quick, I just wanted to say we're getting pretty close to the surgery date. I'm excited. Uh I can't believe it's this close. I can't believe that you know, Jill is just willing to do this for me. I mean, that I don't even know what to say other than thank you. And I'm almost about to cry, but I mean, it's just, it's really, it's mind blowing. Um, you know, the amount of people that will come together for stuff like this, and we should come together for any reason. You know what I mean? That that's where I wanna bring this, you know what I mean? Not just for people, who are sick or need help, just we all need to come together just to come together, right? But, yeah, I'm just I'm real grateful and, um, thankful. Um, everybody, I left, I told the guys at work that I was gonna quit a little later, but I ended up doing it earlier. And, they took care of me, and I appreciate that. And I'm really thankful for everybody and everything. And I appreciate it. And um, the kind of love that I'm feeling and that I'm getting is the kind of love that I want to give to everybody who subscribes and likes his channel. So, um, thank you guys. I appreciate you guys. I hope everybody has a good Christmas and a good new year. And I'll see you guys soon in another episode. All right. All right. Thanks.